All right, now let's check out Binance BNB. Now this currency you can only trade it on Binance. It's their own currency, all right, and it's one of those coins that cannot be mined. This is one coin that's based on the Ethereum platform, but it's their own coin. It has a lot of backup from their own company, from their own exchange. So it's a pretty nice one, and it actually gives some really nice traits, technical traits. So there was one uh, earlier on in January, which was really good actually in Binance against Bitcoin. But this one against the dollar was just fantastic. This is the origin of the whole move on BNB. The entry on this was 703. This was 703 was the entry on it, and I am actually going to set up the targets on it because it's approaching target one. Okay, the stop on this one was 3. So entry was 703, the stop was 3. Now stop is at break even, but I am gonna set up the targets on it. So let's get on with it. So target 1 is going to be at 11. So I need to put this down here. It's getting closer and closer. Target 1 is 11, target 2 is 15, but let me put that 11 first. Now let's put another one. And this platform is a little bit different than Bitfinex, but they're all similar. They still need to work on a lot of things, but I will just put them as I see them right now. And the last one is 19. So those are my three targets. I got the entry at 703, and now my stop's a break even. So the worst that can happen, it will be a wash trade. But if it hits my targets, of course, it will not. All right. So I have target 1 is 11, target 2 is 15, target 3 is 19. Now, one thing that you have noticed with all my trade setups is that they are always most of the time, if I'm trading whatever chart I'm trading on, being the higher time from daily or weekly, or if I go to a small time from 60-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute, I'm always going to be looking for origin of the moves. Of course, I can go to small time frame and see an origin of the move down here somewhere, where it can give me an entry for an intraday trade. But for this swing trade, that was my entry at 703. So that is exactly what I look for, and that's what I'm going to be looking for on the next few setups that I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to be looking at all the coins where we might find some setups. Okay, so this is what I have on BNB, and it is very quickly approaching 11. It has one more point to go. That would be great. All right, let's go back to Bitfinex. So in Bitfinex, I am going to start looking for new opportunities. Actually, before I do that, I am going to go to small time frame on these coins that I have been trading, just to see if I can find another entry. It might not be close to the entry that I got on Tuesday, but it might give some entry for some people who might be wanting to still get into it. But I want to go to, of course, to find another entry. I'm not going to do it in the daily. I'm going to do it on a small time frame. So in this case, it's going to be, I'm going to start with a 1 hour chart. I do have all these pivots which I use for moving my stop up, but as far as like an entry, I don't see anything extremely clear in the 1 minute on the 1 hour chart. Let me go to the 15 minutes, see if I can find something that it looks good. Actually, this pivot here might work on the 30 minutes, so I'm gonna take it to 30 minute, and there you go. This is pretty much the same setup as I had on Neo, a 7888 setup. Now the nice thing on this one is we are in a smaller time frame uptrend. Okay, so we are definitely in a smaller time frame uptrend. The MACD is looking very bullish, and the RSI is still looking bullish in it. So this is an entry on Dash for the people who missed the first. Actually, there's two of them. There's this one. This is a more conservative one, and this is the most aggressive one. Let's go with the aggressive one. So this is what I'm looking for. I always look for, usually I look for pivots, but I also look for rally-based rallies with strong moves out of them. In this case, I really like this setup where I have the 50 moving average crossing all the swings. I got a drop base rally. I'm not going to put any fips in there to help me finish setting up the trade because it is still moving up. It's going to find some resistance here in this origin of the move as you're seeing it right now as we speak. So as soon as it starts retracing, it gives me about a 23% retracement. I am going to set up the fips and find out exactly the entry on this one. It's going to be a very small risk trade, but it's also lower probability than when you take the trades out of the daily. So that is what I am looking for. I'm going to wait for a little bit more of a retracement in it. For now, this is the area where I am going to be looking for an entry for in case I was going to take the trade. I'm already in the daily trade, but this would be a good intraday trade. Okay. So 30 minute has a pretty good setup on Dash. Let's go to NEO and do the exactly same thing. NEO has not reached target 1, but it is looking very nice. It's slowly moving up to target 1 at around 146, the 50% fib extension. Okay, but I'm gonna go to a smaller time frame, same thing as I did with Dash, to see if I can find some kind of entry. I really don't see anything on the 60 minute. Let me go to 30 minute. Okay, try to make this chart smaller just to see everything. Nothing there either. We need to see these pivots taken out for me to be able to get to target 1. So not too much in NEO as far as more time frame. And I know that in Bitcoin we're finding resistance here as we're seeing it right now, and it is going to find resistance. It needs to break this area for it to go to target 2, but for now it's gonna find some resistance there. At least I already hit target 1 in it, and I have my stop at 7,000 at this point, so it is a winning trade any way you see it. Okay, so that is pretty much what I have on those three, and also on BNB, which I already showed you. Now let's go and look for some other ones. I'm gonna go to Ethereum right here and do a complete analysis. I had an entry on Ethereum at 515, but it never got there. Got pretty close, but it did not quite get there. So I'm gonna start as I always do with a higher time frame. See what's going on in the big picture. Always look what's going on in the big picture. All right. So this is Ethereum. All right. So let me clean up this chart a little bit. For some reason on these platforms it brings stuff from other charts. Like this was that was the stuff from the Neo chart, and it brought it into the Ethereum chart. Don't ask me why. I have no idea, but that's how they work. Okay, so now that that's cleaned up, so 515. I'm talking about this rally base rally here. I already hit that one in December. That was a beautiful trade in December. It hit it to the tick. So let's put this one. Bear with me for a second. And I am going to take out all these lines here because I did not. These are not from this chart. These are from the Neo chart for some reason. Okay. All right. This is the level that I was looking for on Ethereum. This is actually 515, and the stop on this would be 375. Okay, it never got there. It got there in December, but I'm talking on Tuesday. That's what I was looking for. Me and a bunch of my followers were checking it out, but it never got to that point. And same happened with Litecoin. Actually, Litecoin was even closer. Lycon came to within 2 or 3 points, and we didn't even notice that. But yeah, it came really close to our entry at 105. But on Ethereum, we missed the move here, so I'm going to go to small time frame to see if in this big move on the way back up, it can give some kind of entry. So let's see what is going on with it. And so every time that I'm looking for an entry, I also need to see what's going on in front of me to see what kind of trade I am willing to take in it. So definitely going to see some resistance. This is the origin of the move from Monday and Tuesday. And notice that it's quickly approaching that same area again. So that is what I'm going to be looking for as far as like if I get into a trade, that's probably going to end up being my first target. So I am going to draw this as a resistance area and use it as such. Since we cannot short these things, I can only use them to take out some of my longs out of that. So have a pretty good setup here. This pivot is looks really good for a trade. That could be a potential trade right there. Put it in green. Okay, this is a drop base rally. I'm not going to put the FIPS in there, but this is more or less the area where I would like to get in. Now, if I get in, say, as an example, and this is something that I always tell my students, is if you get in at 808, for example, then in this case, the stop would have to be at 778. You have to be very disciplined about it. Always use a stop in every trade. It does not matter what kind of term you're looking on the trade, if it's daily trade, if it's an intraday trade, if it's a swing trade or a position trade, you always have to use a stop. Okay, you always need to know what is the maximum amount that you're willing to lose in that trade. So, for example, if my maximum amount that I'm willing to lose in a trade in this trade is $500 to say something, and my entry is at 810, my stop is at around 775 to say something, then that would be about 35 points. Then I know that I can buy about 1.3 or so Ethereums. See what I'm saying? So it's just calculate how much is the maximum amount that you're willing or able to lose in one trade, in a particular trade, and use a stop and be strict about it. Okay, so that is what I have for Ethereum. Okay, it's a pretty good setup, but I'm not going to put the exact entry point because I need to wait until this starts retracing. Okay, so we'll see if it does that or not. And if I get in this entry, I'm going to be looking at a target of around 930, just before this drop here. Okay, that's going to be a lot of resistance in that area. Anyway, so that's what I am looking for as far as Ethereum goes. And let's look at Litecoin to finish with Litecoin. Okay. So as always, go to the higher time frame. And this is a trade that I was talking about on Litecoin. It came so close a few days ago. My entry was at 105. It came to 106. And it hurt seeing it. But hey, you cannot catch all of them. You cannot catch all of them, and if you're expecting to do that, you are not going to succeed in this business. You have to make sure that if you miss one trade, you move on to the next one. All right, so that is just perfectly fine. I missed this trade; it came very close enough to just pull the trigger. All right. This platforms are a little bit clunky. So that was my entry there. But if I zoom into it, you'll see how close it came, but it never did quite hit it. It came to 107 or 106, and I had my entry at 105. Okay, so that was my trade setup on Litecoin. Missed that one, but anyway, that's what I had. All right, that is pretty much all I have for today. So thank you for listening. I hope this has helped you, and please visit cryptostudio.io for more information on our trading courses and other crypto related products. Everybody have a great weekend. This is Mark Safdie, and I am checking out.